Have you ever wondered why the things that break you seem to return again and again? Have you ever wondered why the smallest voice in your mind feels stronger than your entire life? Discipline is the fire that rebuilds you. Truth is the shield that saves you. Pause, drop into stillness. Let your heart open, because what you're about to hear will reach places inside you that no ordinary motivation can touch. Listen closely. Slow your breath. Settle your spirit. This moment is for you and you alone. You, right here, right now. You are fighting a war the world cannot see. A war against the voices that drain you. A war against the habits that weaken you. A war against the influences that shape your future without your permission. You've carried battles in silence. You've smiled through storms. You've walked into rooms pretending everything was fine while your soul was bleeding underneath. And here's the truth: America rarely speaks aloud. You become whatever you let near your soul. Every voice you entertain becomes a seed. Every habit you choose becomes a direction. Every influence you allow becomes a master. So hear me. If you do not master your inner world, something else will. And it will do it quietly, softly, one choice at a time. You want a real story, not a theory, not a metaphor, but a moment you already know in your bones. Let me take you there. Picture yourself alone, late at night, lights low, phone glowing in your hand, your mind tired, your heart heavy, and you whisper to yourself, just one more scroll, just one more message, just one more distraction. But suddenly 30 minutes disappear, then an hour, then your energy is gone, your joy is gone, your clarity is gone, and you wake up the next morning feeling like something stole a piece of you. Because something did. A toxic influence, a silent thief of destiny, a parasite feeding on your attention. And this is where the conflict begins. This is the moment most people break. This is where they surrender their future to tiny habits that look harmless but are deadly. But not you. Not today. Not anymore. Pause. Breathe. Let this enter you like a divine revelation. You are so precious for being here right now. The fact that you clicked and chose to watch this shows your hunger for truth. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is not just knowledge, but life for your soul. Please subscribe, like, and share this message so that others just as precious as you may also find this light. Now let your chest rise. Let your shoulders drop. Let your spirit come forward, because we are about to go deeper. Beyond discipline, beyond motivation, beyond everything you have been taught about strength. We are stepping into transformation, into a truth most people never discover. Something supernatural, something ancient, something America needs now more than ever. Something your future has been waiting for in silence. The truth is simple. You stop being controlled by toxic influences the moment you become too disciplined to be touched by them. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. It is the wall around your peace. It is the shield for your mind. It is the guardian of your future. And that discipline begins with reflection. Calm, clear, honest, fearless. Ask yourself, what do you allow into your spirit? What do you feed your mind when nobody is watching? What habit steals your peace? What voice drains your energy? What influence has been shaping your choices without your permission? Do not look away. Face it. Name it. Expose it. Because once you see the enemy loses power. This is the turning point. This is the awakening. This is the moment your future whispers. Finally, Act 1 begins now. And from this moment forward, your soul steps into a new strength. Your spirit rises into a new clarity. Your mind is no longer a battlefield. Your heart is no longer a hiding place for pain. Something inside you is breaking open. Something ancient. Something powerful. Something victorious. And once it rises, nothing toxic will ever control you again. The moment you say enough, every powerful transformation begins with a single moment. Not a year, not a plan, not a miracle, a moment, a decision, a breath, a shift inside your chest, so small the world cannot see it. But heaven can. That moment is the whisper that rises inside you and says, I'm done letting this control me. This is that moment for you. Right now, right here, this breath, this second, this heartbeat. This is where everything begins to change. Let the old habits tremble. Let the toxic voices fade. Let the weight you've been carrying finally feel the fear of losing its grip on you. Because you are standing. And you haven't stood like this in a long time. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not defeated. You are awakening. And awakening always begins with truth. The truth that the life you desire is not far away. The truth that discipline is not your enemy. The truth that your soul has been waiting for you to rise. There is a version of you America has not seen yet. A version of you your past did not get to touch. A version of you your mistakes could not destroy. A version of you your enemies hoped you would never meet. And that version is stepping forward now. Feel it. The shift. The warmth. The strength returning to your bones. You know this moment. Your spirit has tasted it before. The moment where something inside you says, this is enough. I'm choosing a different life. This is where the story changes. This is where the cycle ends. This is where the power returns. You have spent years fighting battles alone. Years carrying wounds you never spoke about. Years pretending you were fine because you were afraid of burdening anyone with your truth. But listen, strength is not silence. Strength is not suffering without healing. Strength is not letting your pain live rent-free in your soul. Strength is choosing a new direction, even when your old patterns try to pull you back. And you are choosing now. Right now. Tell yourself, I choose discipline. I choose clarity. I choose truth. I choose myself. Let these words settle. Let them sink into the places that have been numb for too long. Let them rebuild the parts of you that life tried to shatter. Because this is not just motivation. This is a homecoming. You are returning to yourself. To the real you. The you that has been buried under fear. Buried under people's expectations. Buried under lies you've believed about yourself. Feel the weight lifting. Slowly. Softly. But surely, you are not who you were yesterday. You are not who your mistakes tried to convince you to be. You are not who the world labeled you as. You are becoming someone new. Someone whole. Someone grounded. Someone powerful. And the moment you say enough, heaven agrees. Destiny agrees. Your future opens. Because life always moves for the person who finally decides to move for themselves. You know the habits that pull you down. You know the voices that twist your emotions. You know the distractions that eat away at your peace. And today, you take your power back from every single one of them. Discipline is not the enemy. Discipline is the doorway. The doorway to clarity. The doorway to peace. The doorway to self-respect. The doorway to freedom. You have seen what happens when you live without discipline. Chaos. Emotion. Regret. Moments you wish you could redo. Decisions you made from pain instead of purpose. But you are not living that way anymore. Not when your soul is waking up. Not when your future is calling you. Not when this fire inside you has finally decided to rise. This is the moment where the old story dies. This is the moment where the new story begins. Stand tall in the quiet strength you've ignored for too long. Your spirit has been patient. Your purpose has been patient. Your destiny has been patient. But now it steps forward with you. Now it aligns with you. Now it strengthens you. You are being rebuilt from the inside out, brick by brick, truth by truth, choice by choice. And the foundation of this new life is simple. You choose you, not your fear, not your habits, not your past. You choose discipline. You choose clarity. You choose a mind that belongs to you. You choose a heart that is finally allowed to breathe. Let this become your new foundation. Unshakable, unbreakable, unmistakably yours. This is the moment everything changes. This is the moment your power returns. This is the moment you say, enough, and the world listens. The silent enemies. Toxic influences do not shout. They whisper. They slide into your life quietly, soft enough to feel harmless, familiar enough to feel normal, comfortable enough to feel safe. They come wrapped in things that look innocent. A friend who drains you, a habit that steals your sleep, a distraction that ruins your day, a memory that keeps reopening your wounds, a pattern that repeats even when you swear you're done with it. They do not attack with fire. They grow in silence. They grow in shadows. They grow in the moments you think don't matter. One choice, one click, one message, one small compromise. And suddenly, you are walking down a path you did not consciously choose. Listen, your silent enemies are never loud. They are patient. They wait for moments when your guard is down. They wait for moments when your spirit is tired. They wait for moments when you are overwhelmed, lonely, or doubting yourself, because that is when they have the most power. Not because they are strong, but because they catch you when you're soft, when you're open, when you're unprotected. Some of these enemies are people who smile at your face and bruise your spirit behind closed doors. Some of these enemies are habits that pretend they are giving you comfort, when really they are stealing your life 1 hour at a time. Some of these enemies are thoughts that whisper you are not enough, you are not worthy, you are not capable, thoughts that sound like your own voice because you've heard them for so long. But none of these enemies can touch you once you learn to see them. And discipline is the gift that gives you sight. Discipline clears the fog. Discipline sharpens the mind. Discipline strengthens the heart. Discipline allows you to look at your life without lying to yourself. Discipline lets you see what others ignore. The subtle shift in someone's energy. The uneasiness in your gut when something is wrong. The red flags that other people pretend not to notice. You begin to notice patterns. You begin to see cycles. You begin to recognize what weakens you and what strengthens you. And suddenly, you can no longer tolerate what drains you. You can no longer entertain what confuses you. You can no longer accept what does not honor your soul. Because discipline rewires the way you value yourself. Discipline gives you permission to protect your peace. Discipline teaches you that walking away is not loss. It's liberation. You owe your future this level of protection. Your dreams deserve it. Your purpose deserves it. Your soul deserves it. And something inside you knows this. You can feel it rising. This quiet strength, this sharp awareness, this refusal to shrink for anything toxic. The silent enemies in your life have survived because you've been asleep, but you are awake now. You see the friend who only calls when they need something. You see the habit that keeps stealing your night and ruining your day. You see the distraction that takes your focus and gives you nothing in return. You see the memory that keeps haunting you because you haven't forgiven yourself yet. You see it all, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Awareness becomes your armor. Truth becomes your shield. Discipline becomes your sword. And now you stand differently. You carry yourself differently. You choose differently. You begin to understand something life-changing. The most dangerous enemy is not the one who attacks loudly, but the one who feeds silently, the one who drains your strength without ever raising their voice. the one you allow access because you never recognized the cost. But not anymore. Not now that you can see clearly. Discipline gives you the strength to walk away from anything that does not honor your soul. You walk away from gossip. You walk away from negativity. You walk away from people who use your kindness as a weakness. You walk away from habits that destroy your confidence. You walk away from environments that suffocate your growth. This is not selfish. This is sacred. This is spiritual. This is necessary. Your peace is not cheap. Your future is not disposable. Your destiny is not a playground for toxic influences. And deep down, you know this. Your spirit has always known. Your intuition has always whispered it. Your heart has always felt the truth, long before your mind accepted it. You were never meant to live surrounded by silent enemies. You were meant to rise above them. So let them fade. Let them fall away. Let the people who cannot match your growth remove themselves. Let the habits that weaken you dissolve under your new strength. Let the memories that once controlled you lose their power. Because when the silent enemies disappear, a new world opens inside you. A world of peace. A world of clarity. A world of power. A world where your soul finally has room to breathe. And this is where the real transformation begins. You owe your future this level of protection. And now, you are ready to give it. The rise of your real self. America loves strength. America loves resilience. America loves the comeback story. And right now, you are stepping into your own comeback. Not loud, not dramatic, not messy, calm, quiet, unshakable. Because the greatest comebacks in life do not begin with applause. They begin with awareness. They begin with truth. They begin with a quiet moment where your spirit rises from everything that once tried to bury it. The rise of your real self is not a performance. It is a return to who you were before the world told you who to be. A return to the version of you that existed before the wounds, before the disappointments, before the toxic influences, before you started shrinking to make others comfortable. And listen closely. That version of you has never left. It has only been waiting, patiently, silently, like a flame buried under ashes. But now, you are blowing on that flame, and the ashes are beginning to fall away. The real you rises when you stop apologizing for choosing peace. Because peace is not weakness. Peace is wisdom. Peace is spiritual maturity. Peace is knowing you do not have to fight every battle that calls your name. The real you rises when you stop giving access to those who misuse it. Because access to you is sacred. Access to your time, your energy, your heart, your presence. These are treasures. And you are learning that not everyone deserves them. The real you rises when you stop letting the world train your emotions. When you stop letting every comment shake you. When you stop letting every distraction pull you, when you stop letting every fear steer you, you are learning something most people never understand. Your power is not in reacting. Your power is in choosing what deserves your reaction. This is discipline, not punishment, not restriction, not force. Discipline is the art of honoring yourself. Discipline is the commitment to protecting your peace. Discipline is choosing the path that builds you, even when the path that destroys you feels easier. America loves the hero who rises. And today, you become that hero in your own story. Not because life suddenly got easier. Not because the problems disappeared. Not because the world changed. But because you changed, because you decided to rise. Because you refused to be shaped by the very things designed to break you. Your real self does not rise when everything in your life is perfect. Your real self rises when you choose clarity in the middle of chaos. Your real self rises when you choose restraint in the middle of temptation. Your real self rises when you choose growth in the middle of pain. Feel what is happening inside you. Feel the shift. Feel the steadiness. Feel the quiet confidence settling into your spirit. There is a strength inside you that was never lost, only forgotten. There is a resilience in your bones older than your fears. There is a fire inside your soul that toxic influences could not extinguish. And now that fire is waking up. This is the part America loves: the rise, the return. The moment a person stands from their knees and refuses to go back to who they used to be. You are not rebuilding your old self. You are revealing your true self, the disciplined self, the centered self, the purposeful self, the unstoppable self. Because real power does not come from controlling others. Real power comes from mastering yourself, mastering your thoughts, mastering your emotions, mastering your impulses, mastering your attention. And when you do that, you become untouchable. The noise of the world cannot shake you. The opinions of others cannot influence you. The temptations of your old habits cannot pull you back. You begin to walk differently, talk differently, choose differently, think differently, because you are no longer controlled by what once controlled you. You rise into a version of yourself that lives with intention, not reaction, not fear, not insecurity. You start moving with purpose. You start speaking with conviction. You start setting boundaries without guilt. You start protecting your spirit like it is the most valuable thing you own. Because it is. America respects people who know who they are. People who stand firm. People who refuse to bend for anything that threatens their peace. And now that person is you. This rise is quiet, but powerful. This rise is calm, but unstoppable. This rise is inward, but it will transform everything outward. Because when your real self rises, every toxic influence falls away. Every bad habit loses its grip. Every small voice in your mind becomes silent. Every fear becomes smaller than your purpose. And discipline becomes the foundation you stand on. Steady, strong, sacred. This is discipline. And this is your rise. The final shift. Here is the supernatural secret. A truth older than your fears, older than your wounds, older than every influence that ever tried to bend your destiny out of shape. The mind obeys what the soul repeats. Read that again. Let it settle. Let it echo through the places inside you that have been waiting for healing. The mind is loud. The mind is fast. The mind races, reacts, panics, spirals and clings to everything that feels urgent. But the soul is steady. The soul is ancient. The soul carries the memory of who you were before life broke your confidence, before people misused your trust, before voices around you made you question your worth. And when the soul speaks, when it whispers direction, when it breathes truth, when it repeats clarity, the mind bows. The noise calms. The chaos kneels. The confusion melts. So hear me. Speak life to yourself. Not because it's trendy, not because it sounds positive, but because your future hangs on the words you feed your inner world. Speak clarity. Because without clarity, you drift into habits that don't deserve you. Speak direction. Because without direction, you walk in circles that break your spirit. Speak truth. Because lies, especially the ones you tell yourself, are the silent chains that keep destinies small. Every time you say, "I can't," your soul grows quiet in grief. Every time you whisper, "Maybe later," your future takes a step back. Every time you say, "I'm not enough," you hand your power to the very influences you're trying to outrun. This is why discipline matters. Not to impress the world, not to pretend you're strong, not to check a box of daily routines. Discipline matters because it aligns your mind with the truth your soul already knows. You were created with purpose. You were crafted with intention. You carry a light that darkness has been trying to dim for years. But now, right now, You are stepping into a shift that generations before you prayed you would discover. A shift from distraction to direction. A shift from noise to knowing. A shift from surviving to becoming. Because the world will always try to drag you back into the noise. It will try to wrap you in fear. It will try to drown you in comparison. It will try to weaken you with illusions of failure, regret, or not enough. But you are not noise. You are not chaos. You are not the confusion you've been fighting. You are purpose wrapped in human skin. You are direction disguised in a beating heart. You are the quiet force, the kind that doesn't shout, doesn't beg, doesn't chase. The kind that walks into a room and everything inside the room shifts, softens, rearranges itself around your presence. You don't need applause to validate your power. You don't need acceptance to confirm your worth. You don't need permission to rise. Your power is older than every mistake you've made. Your power is deeper than every wound you've carried. Your power is sacred, untouched, waiting beneath the noise. And discipline is the key that opens the door back into that version of you. So stand in that. Stand in the truth that your worth is non-negotiable. Stand in the truth that peace is your birthright. Stand in the truth that you no longer owe access to people, habits, or influences that mishandled your spirit. Lean into that. Lean into the quiet confidence that doesn't need validation. Lean into the calm strength that refuses to be shaken. Lean into the inner knowing that says, I am finally choosing myself. I am finally protecting what God placed inside me. I am finally becoming the person I needed years ago. Become that. Become the version of you that your younger self prayed you would grow into. Become the version of you that wakes up with clarity instead of chaos. Become the version of you that no toxic influence can touch. Not because the world got softer, but because you became too disciplined to be moved by anything small. This is the final shift. The shift where your inner world becomes untouchable. The shift where your peace becomes your compass. The shift where your discipline becomes your shield. The shift where your soul finally speaks louder than your fears. And when your soul speaks, toxic influences lose all power over you. Because no darkness can defeat a person who has learned to stand in their own light. Walk with intention. Not the rushed intention the world teaches, but the quiet, deliberate intention that says, every step I take honors my future. Every choice I make honors my soul. Walk with clarity. The kind of clarity that cuts through confusion like light through fog. The kind of clarity that refuses to settle for anything less than truth, peace, and purpose. The kind of clarity that protects your inner world before it protects anything else. Walk with your spirit awake. Awake to what drains you. Awake to what builds you. Awake to the voices that lift you higher. Awake to the whispers that try to pull you down. Because life becomes dangerous, not when others attack you, but when you fall asleep inside your own destiny. You've spent too many seasons half awake, doing enough to get by, surviving the noise, letting distractions shape your energy, letting toxic influences sit too close to your soul. But now you are awake. You hear differently. You feel differently. You choose differently. This awakening didn't happen by accident. It happened because something in you refused to die. Something in you refused to give up. Something in you refused to keep living a life that felt small, quiet, or borrowed. And remember this. The moment you master what enters your soul, your life becomes untouchable. Not perfect, not painless, not without challenges, but untouchable. Because nothing on the outside can defeat a person who has become disciplined on the inside. Untouchable, because peace becomes your shield. Untouchable, because truth becomes your compass. Untouchable, because clarity becomes your armor. Untouchable, because you no longer entertain the influences that once stole your strength. Think about how far you've come. Think about how many storms you survived without even realizing how strong you were. Think about the nights you cried quietly, The mornings you woke up numb, the moments you thought your spirit was breaking. Yet here you are, still rising, or by still reaching, still choosing growth over comfort. That is strength. That is resilience. That is discipline turned into destiny. And now, as this message reaches its echo, something sacred is shifting inside you. You can feel it. You can sense it. Your soul knows exactly what is happening. You are stepping into a higher version of yourself. A version that is no longer shaped by external voices, but by inner truth. A version that is no longer controlled by toxic influences, but by divine direction. A version that is no longer pulled by distractions, but guided by intention. Walk with intention, because intention is the map your future has been waiting for. Walk with clarity, because clarity separates destiny from delay. Walk with your spirit awake, because an awakened spirit sees what silent influences once hid from you. And remember this, you are not who the world tried to turn you into. You are who God designed you to become. And no influence, no habit, no voice, no fear can ever steal what was placed inside you before time began. You are not here by accident. You did not press play on this message by accident. Your spirit brought you here because you were ready to rise, ready to grow, ready to reclaim yourself, ready to protect your peace with a strength the world cannot name. You are becoming the kind of person whose presence calms storms, not because you avoid chaos, but because you no longer let chaos make a home in you. You are becoming the kind of soul that cannot be manipulated, not because people changed, but because your awareness did. You are becoming someone who walks into the future with a stillness that says, "Nothing can shake me now. Nothing can steal my peace. Nothing can weaken what God has strengthened." Your life becomes untouchable the moment your soul becomes guarded, the moment your mind becomes disciplined, the moment your heart becomes intentional, the moment your spirit becomes awake. So hear this final echo as it settles inside you. Your peace is sacred. Your clarity is power. Your discipline is destiny. And your soul, your beautiful, resilient, awakened soul, is untouchable. Walk forward. Walk whole. Walk free. Your new life begins from here.